Hello everyone, this is Lacy Bird Academy. My name is Natasha and today I'll be making a round bouquet, not quite in the classic form. I'll show you how to make it lush, voluminous and more interesting for your clients. By the way, we've never made a round bouquet on our YouTube channel, so I hope you'll find a lot of useful information. Let's take a look at the composition that I've prepared. Today I'll be using a pink palette, and as a first order flower, I've chosen a beautiful mocha rose. It has a very unusual shade and I want to highlight it. A spray rose with a brighter color will help me do that. A beautiful peony rose, Notting Hill, Chamelauschum, and for some volume I'll add cream carnations. I'll start collecting the bouquet with a Shangri-La rose, but first I'll reflex it. I started creating the bouquet from the center. I placed the first flower about 25 centimeters from the center. You might notice that even though this rose is in the center of my bouquet, it stands slightly lower than the other roses. Why did I do that? Because the mocha rose is a first order flower and I need to showcase it better, so I raised it a bit higher, but the shape will still be a round one. You'll see this in the process. Let's look at the intermediate result. You might notice that I'm assembling the bouquet using technical greenery, which allows me to give the flowers some extra volume. As you can see, the center of my bouquet is also in place, it didn't move. My task is to assemble the bouquet around the first flower in sectors, so to speak, to keep the center from moving. I make sure to group all the flowers to avoid clutter in the bouquet. And pay attention to the dynamics. Even though it's a round bouquet, it still has dynamics. Not as active as in a spreading bouquet, but I still have it. Because when we place flowers on the same level, it looks quite boring and static. So we allow, but our task is to make the bouquet lively and rhythmic. You might have noticed that the lisianthus branches lack small green buds. Why so? I removed them because my bouquet, my color scheme doesn't imply other shades besides pink. So I removed them to keep them from cluttering my bouquet. Besides, green buds take away the main moisture from the already formed inflorescences, which shortens its lifespan, even though this flower is long-lasting. I'm already at the final stage, adding the remaining flowers. Thus, I fill the gaps according to the shape. What to pay attention to when assembling a round bouquet? It's important for us to show airiness, volume. Our shape shouldn't be compressed and represent a perfect circle. It should still be a bit lacy, more interesting. And dynamics allow us to do that. After that, I'll correct it and we'll see what I've got. Let's look at the bouquet I've made. What I want to say about the shape. You can notice that it's round, but the flowers on the edge are placed quite high. We need to make sure we don't end up with a wedding bouquet where the stems gradually drop lower and lower to the bundle. Our task is to create a lush, voluminous bouquet, so don't be afraid to pull the stems higher to create a commercial bouquet. What I want to say about the color, you can notice there's a large mass of fuchsia color and here with less support. So don't forget about groupings. As to the mocha rose, you can see that I've made a larger group of 3 roses here and added 2 more roses diagonally for support. As you can see, the camelosium is not placed throughout the bouquet. There's a certain diagonal. One of the best places for third-order flowers is next to first-order flowers, as they highlight each other better. The final touch of the bouquet assembly will be the wrapping, but honestly, I'd leave it as is. Just use decorative greenery to cover the technical greenery and hide the pistachio. And now I'm saying goodbye to you. See you in the next video where I'll be wrapping this bouquet. Bye bye everyone.